Hey, you want to see something really scary?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
What was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Welcome to Fright Night.
Welcome back to Jump Scare. I'm Betty B. Dudley.
And I'm Shad. No be deadly.
This week we're reviewing 2021's Slumber Party Massacre.
Call me when you get there.
I will. Stop. Don't make eye contact. It'll give her an excuse to give safety advice.
Could you imagine if we got pulled over?
We're not getting pulled over.
We'll just invite the police to the party.
I
think you have a leak in your radiator.
Our car is giving us issues, and we need a place to stay for the night.
Oh, you don't want to stay here?
We don't really have a choice. Well, guess it's time to start the slumber party! Alex, you're bleeding. It's not my blood. Check all the windows. What is going on? Now! No matter what he does, we are ready. Russ is alive and killing.
In honor of Women's Month, March, right now.
Women in horror?
Women in horror and women overall. We decided we wanted to cover some films that were either written and or directed or both by a woman. And
since all the Slumber Party Massacre movies have been directed by women, we thought we would do one of those, but thought we would talk about one that doesn't seem to get a lot of attention.
Yes, this is a remake from the 1982 Slumber Party Massacre, directed by Amy Holden Jones and a screenplay by Rita Mae Brown, which if you have ever seen the film, you would not think that a woman wrote or directed the film because it is so male-centric. It is everything a horror film from that time frame is.
They knew what the assignment was.
The sexualization of these young girls, the gratuitous shots. I mean, everything is just very classic 80s horror. And you would not think like, oh, a woman would have written this or directed it at all. But they did, which I appreciate. And it's actually one of those films that I happened to just catch on. I think it was like Fear Fest or one of those like AMC used to do their like horror thing, and I caught it. It was late Saturday night, and I had never seen. And I was in my like probably at the time like early 20s, and I was like, "What is this movie?" And I fell in love with it. I think it's great. It's really fun. So this one
also though isn't Rita Mae Brown? Isn't that like a series of mystery books or something? Sneaky Rita Mae Brown or something like that. I'll have to look that up later. But anyhow, this one came out in 2021. It was a sci-fi original movie. So when it aired originally, they cut out a lot of the gore that was in it. And now that it's on streaming, they've put all that back in. And this was directed by Danishka Esterhazy. And she also directed a movie that's available on Tubi right now called Match that I've heard is really good. And she directed that movie a few years ago, The Banana Splits, which was the it kind of took the Five Nights at Freddy concept before that movie came out. And it kind of did that because The Banana Splits was a very strange puppet-ish show from the 70s. And then this one's written by Suzanne Keeley, and she also wrote Leprechaun Returns, which I actually like. I believe that one was directed by, what's his name that did...
Ooh, I don't know. But let me just say, Rita Mae Brown, though. Yes. Rita Mae Brown is the same person. She's the novelist, the mystery novelist, who has tons of books, and activist feminist. So you
Psycho Gorman was the one I was trying to think of.
Psycho Gorman, okay. So yeah, you were right on the money.
Yeah, I was like, why does that sound so familiar? Rita Mae Brown. It's like
I had to go back to my like bookseller days where I like memorized when you were like putting the books away. You know, either like in the morning when you like they'd have all the books ready to be laid out like from the back stock and whatnot, and it would come in. Like, okay, yes, see it right there, in the back of my mind. So yeah, isn't it? She's like, yeah. So I wrote this movie, and then I went on to write, very feminist-centric mystery novels and other literature works. So this film...
Sorry, Stephen Kostansky was the guy who was trying to... My brain was misfired there. He was the guy who did Psycho Gorman. He directed Leprechaun Returns, which the writer from this, she wrote the screenplay for it.
Interesting.
Yeah, sorry, I had a brain aneurysm there for a minute.
Totally fine. And I've never seen Leprechaun Returns. You have.
Yeah, I liked it.
But I haven't, so I have to see it. As far as remakes go, this one's interesting. Now, I am a fan of the original.
Well, this one, I think what it does well is it doesn't try to be the original.
Yes, it remakes it completely. They add Friday the 13th-esque element to it by adding, a little more depth and backstory and another character into Russ Thorne, who's the driller killer. So they do that. And what I really appreciate, because it is written and directed by another set of modern women, they decide, you know what? We're going to sexualize the men in this film. And yes, that's fucked up overall. No one should be sexualizing anyone, right? But let's just be real. Like, the parts where the guys come in, those were my favorite parts because they do like a pillow fight and they have no shirts on.
Everybody's shirt just flew off for no reason.
They sure did. There's a shower. One of the males, takes a shower. There's a shower scene of him, with the suds going down his chest, and
of course he has
cleaning that one area of his pecs like 100 times. It's like it's super squeaky clean because he cleaned it like so many times.
Also, he has washboard abs, so he cleaned that off real easy.
Sure did. Oh, he sure did and does. And all of these actors this film was.
This was filmed in South Africa.
And all of the actors are well known in South Africa that are in this film. And one of the actresses actually goes on to do several other movies with the director. So
yeah. I believe her name's Alex McGregor. My notes disappeared on me here. Sorry.
We're going to go with Alex McGregor. Now, the film starts out...
I was correct. Alex McGregor.
It's 1993. And this film was... And I thought that the Sci-Fi Channel died. I thought they were over. I may not be wrong. I don't know. I don't have traditional cable, so I stream like everyone else. So I'm sure someone out there still has cable. This was a Sci-Fi original, guys. And if you ever lived during that time frame where Sharknado was a Sci-Fi original.
The infamous one that started the whole thing of their crazy was Mansquito.
Mansquito.
And that is an amazing name.
First of all, the fact that you even know the name of that film.
And then I think they held a contest to name one of their movies, and it was the Sharktopus.
Oh my gosh, Sharktopus, yes.
Yeah, Sharktopus, that is one of the greatest names ever. And then they did Whale Wolf versus Sharktopus. They were just trying to, once Mansquito caught some attention, they were like, what kind of crazy fucking names can we come up with?
What hybrids can we come up with?
Yeah, so they came up with everything. That's when they started doing Lake Placid versus Anaconda. I believe they had one of those.
So 1993...
In the film.
In the film. We see, girls are having a slumber party. They get massacred. One girl survives. We skip to the future. And right off the bat, when you see, like, the mom, like, when the mom comes in, there's a girl, she's getting ready to go on you're assuming a trip. Obviously, she's packing a bag and whatnot. And mom comes in. You're like, is this the mom is this the girl that we just saw, like, survive that terrible ordeal where her friends got murdered in a cabin by the lake? Yes. And the daughter's listening to a podcast, which I thought also, like, hilarious. Of course, there's a true crime. I mean, this is 2021, so I feel like, and I may be wrong, but I feel like this is the beginnings of the True Crime podcast. Like, when they started really,
2019 to 2021, that was when all the big ones hit. And that was when the COVID lockdown came, was in 2020. And then everybody was at home listening to podcasts all the time, or making podcasts. Now, I will say the only real complaint I have about the movie is that they make a point of showing a scene early on where the mom gets the drill put through her hand. Mm-hmm. And then there's a plot point about that later, but she has absolutely no mark in the center of her hand or the back of her hand.
To be fair, though, was the hand plastic? And I know you're like, no, it wasn't plastic. But the hand didn't even look good. Like, it didn't look real. The hand looked weird. Maybe it was the angle, the lighting, something. I'm like, I wish it was a plastic hand. I'm trying to remember the movie where there was I think it's a man that has, like, a plastic hand. He just pops it right off. So it looks like,
she had, like, an artificial hand, and that's why I didn't bother. But no, it was supposed to be her real hand. They just drilled through, but then they just never showed, like, a mark on there again.
You know what? She went to Colombia, and they took the fat from her butt and they put it in her hand.
Okay.
So that's what happened. That's how the hand got filled in. Or they used, like, Play-Doh. I don't know.
At least just put a bandage around it. Have her wearing a glove, Do the Luke Skywalker thing. Just have her wearing a glove all the time.
She's just wearing a glove. Yeah, I mean, she would have nerve damage. I'm sure they'd be able to, like...
That does come up later, that, like, I can't feel anything in my hand.
Yeah.
Well, just, show a scar in the center of the hand. That's all you gotta do.
Well, look, this movie, I think it was made for, like, $200,000. And I'm going to tell you right now, in 1993, okay? And they're playing music that's not 1993.
Yeah.
You can fake out the clothes, okay? Because they're quote unquote pajamas. So it's just girls. They even have one girl in, like, silky, like, bloomers. And I was like, okay. Like, silky bloomers was a thing. 60s, 70s, like 80s. Okay, I could see a girl wearing silky bloomers. They were like, we need one, like, period piece, like, accurate thing for the pajamas. Like, if someone was wearing, like, and then they can't wear anything specific, like, no one was gonna be wearing, like, a Garfield t-shirt. Like, you can't have anything where you're gonna have to pay for something.
Yeah.
You can't have that, right? So generic. But the music, I feel like even if there was one person in the whole, like, people behind the scenes, even the actors themselves, which are obviously young, they were not alive during that time, made fake music to probably make it sound like it was 1993. I mean, that would have been better than the music they chose, which was very, like, 2000s poppy music.
Yeah.
That took me out but it's like two songs they play in the back, and it's like, and also they're not going to pay all these royalties, for literally not even 10 minutes of the film.
What was that on Bubba Hotep? They said that the licensing rights to one Elvis song for 30 seconds was more than the budget of the entire movie.
That's insane.
So I'm sure that's why we can't get WKRP on DVD, like all of it, because to use, like, I think it was 7 seconds of a Pink Floyd song, they wanted like $200,000. Wow. And that was all through that show. So I can only imagine the music rights just kill people on this stuff.
There's a scene right off the bat. The ex-boyfriend is looking at the girls.
This is the 1993 part.
1993 part, partying it up. They're just dancing around. He decides, he's just gonna start masturbating right there. But then he sees across the way on the other side of the cabin, there's another guy.
And I love it when he's like, who is this pervert?
Yeah, who is this pervert? And I'm like, you just like put your junk back in your pants and now you're walking over, and of course obviously brutally murdered. As he should have been.
You know, this is the ultimate hypocritical guy here. It's like, how dare someone else be masturbating outside my ex-girlfriend's room when I could be doing that?
Exactly. Now, the driller killer, the actor that they got to play this, like, hands down, best performance, okay? Because the driller killer in the original, and I cannot confirm or deny if the rest of them were by women, like written or directed by women. They all were. Okay, well, that's the fucking shame, because those other ones are just really terrible. Guys, I know there's someone out there that loves Slumber Party 2. Like, there's no way you like Part 3. I own all of them, because there was at one point in, like, I don't know, 2012, 2013, where they had like a double feature. You can get part 1. No, actually it was a triple, 1, 2, and 3. So I was like, oh, 1 wasn't available by itself. So I had to get that. So I have it, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to watch all these. Now, they do a funny thing in this film, though. There is an homage, which they're like, oh, I just found this randomly in the closet.
Just found this random, amazing-looking guitar that just happens to look like the guitar from Part 2. I love that.
Minus the drill at the end. Minus the drill. Didn't have that. But I'm like, that part, like, killed me. I'm like, man, way to pay homage. And then there's that other thing.
Where the killer, the Rust Sword, he's peeking at him through the back of the van. He's getting him the evil eye, which is, in the original, he was good on the eye from the back of the van.
Yeah, well, he was driving in the van, and that's what he drove up in the school from. He's like, so that also, gotta appreciate the little Easter eggs. It's a revenge plot. That's how it's different from the original. The original was not a revenge plot. It's just a typical. Now, we're just girls being girls.
This is not spoiling much, because this is be pretty close into the movie when you see this. But the thing I did like about this a lot was that something happens, and one of them comes in and goes, "Oh my God, there's someone out here that's trying to kill us," and all the other girls just go, "Okay, pillow fight," and then they all just pull knives, axes, machetes out of the pillows. Yes. They're like, "Yeah, we know there's a killer out there. We came here to murder him."
Yeah, fantastic.
But they're doing all this. They put on the pajamas. They were pretending to drink. They were doing this to lure the guy in.
They siphon the gas so they can randomly stop.
They were doing all this stuff. It was a radiator they messed up.
Oh, radiator. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so they did all this stuff to do all the typical little horror movie tropes to lure in the murderer so then they could get him. And I thought that was really clever. Because you don't see that in a lot of them, where they're, this is a very clever way to be like, yeah, we know this is bullshit. This is why we're doing it. Mm-hmm. We're purposely being acting like the dumb girls. Like, oh, no, we don't know what we're doing. Yeah, we do exactly what we're doing. We're trying to murder this guy.
This film is like, I don't know, a couple of minutes longer. I think the original is like an hour and 17 minutes. This is like an hour and like 25 minutes or something. But this movie, I don't think should have been longer than like 90 minutes. I think there's a point of the film where you think the movie's over, and then I may be wrong, but I feel like then it continued for like another 20 minutes, maybe more.
It's about another 30 minutes after that.
Yeah, so.
But it could have been cut down a little bit, been a little tighter. There was a few scenes I thought went on a little too long at the end, with them trapped in the house and the killer outside. Could have cut that down a little bit and made it a little tighter, but I'm sure they were working with a specific time frame, because it was going to air on Sci-Fi. It was going to have commercials baked in, so it needed to be a certain length to stretch it out to the full 2-hour time space.
Because when they streamed this and then like Shout Factory like got it, they added all that stuff back in.
Yeah, they added the gore and everything back in. So I'm sure it was probably a little different when it aired on Sci-Fi, just because they needed to hit a certain time length.
I can't even imagine what this movie would be like without like. And I wouldn't even see the scenes were gratuitous. They were bloody, and they, of course, I mean, people were getting murdered by a long ass drill. It's not going to be pretty.
But they were pretty easy to cut out, and there's no real profanity in it.
No.
So that was easy enough for them. They didn't have to edit any dialogue or redo any of that. And the guy's butt scene, you could easily take the butt scene out and still have the scene of him just washing his chest in the thing, and you could get away with that. So the way it was made was very easy for them to put those scenes back in, I think. And then when it goes on streaming, then it just looks like it's a normal horror movie. It doesn't look like it was strictly a made-for-TV kind of thing. So that worked out well in their favor, I think.
I wonder what the thought process was for, like, the writer. Like, oh, I love this movie and I want to remake Slumber Party. Or, you know, I have this idea and I think it would work well with this film. Because the idea of the revenge plot of having the guys be the one to be, you know, sexualized and there's certain things, and then giving Russ Thorne's character just a little bit more, not much, just something more than just rando psycho that escapes, you know, from somewhere. They don't really give you much, but it's a little more than the original movie does. So by doing all these things, it is a true remake in a sense of I would say it's a revisioning.
Yeah. Which is nice because, like we've said before, the best remakes are the ones that do something completely different. Because you look like The Fly, completely different than the original. The Thing, completely different than the original.
Yes.
Same concept, but completely different in the execution. The Blob, kind of the same, but they just had better effects and a little bit better storyline on it. And they actually had people that actually look like teenagers. Yeah. Instead of being 35-year-olds pretending to be 17.
Whoa.
Yeah, I always loved that in those old movies when they were like, here's Space Cadet Bucky Jones. Bucky has crow's feet. How long do you have to be in the academy before you graduate up?
Bucky has gray hair coming out of his ears.
Yeah, he's been in the academy a long time. Like, I think it's time to go ahead and graduate him or tell him to go home.
He's a super senior.
Yeah. He's like 71 years old. I think it's time for him to just retire. Which is not a lie. There was a 50s show where it was like the Space Cadets, and they were all like very old guys. I'm like, oh my God.
That's correct. Well, everyone in this film, in the 2021 version of Slumber Party Massacre, looks perfect for their age that they're supposed to be. Even one girl, I was like, there's no way this girl is... How old is this girl? 14? Because she looks super young.
And she was 15 in it. So, yeah, you were pretty close.
Yeah, And that adds another element to the, like, girl story. You add a little more danger by involving a child, which there was one in the original. There was the sister. So they do keep some things. Because caring for your sister or, you know, or the sister that is gonna stow away in the back of the van.
Gonna hide and
that's
be like...
classic. That's never gonna change. It could be fucking 2055. That's still gonna be a thing. You're still gonna love your sibling, you know, for the most part. And younger kids are gonna do shit like that, especially when they want to hang out with the older sibling, you know? So those are just things that are just never gonna change. So they did have that element as well. But yeah, I give this one 2.5 knives.
Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna give it 2.5 too. It was entertaining. If you hadn't seen the original, you would enjoy this, and if you have seen the original, I think you'll also enjoy this.
Yeah, take it for what it's worth. I mean, not to say anything negative. Insert negative comment now. It was way better than that remake of Black Christmas, and that movie was way more expensive, like took much more money to create. I mean, the dubbing, like the.
Oh yeah, they're just walking along, and we'll just have someone explain everything randomly as we're going along.
I am walking down to the sorority house. Here, look, Amanda, over there. It's just so bad.
That was.
It was so bad. And I was like, wait, Gary Elvis is in this movie? Why?
Hey, their check cleared.
I know, I feel so bad. I want to give him a hug. Like, is Princess Bride and Saw not giving any good royalties? What's going on?
Hey, you can always use another house. Another car. How many people have you heard these movies?
Was it a Barbie house? Because I don't think he could have gone a lot from that Black Christmas and made $10.
Well, hey, he got his money up front. That's one of those ones you get paid for up front. Hey, look, what's her name? Betsy Palmer. He was like, I need this car. I need a brand new car. And this car costs $9,995. Friday the 13th came along and said, we'll pay you $10,000 to be in the movie. She was like, I'm in. I got $5 left over. And I always loved Michael Caine's line where they go, did you ever watch Jaws 4? And he goes, no, I haven't seen it, but I've seen the house it paid for, and it's amazing. So
you got Michael Caine. You gotta love him.
So yeah, I don't blame these guys. Take that check, man. Get that money.
I am not saying any. It's just mind blowing. It's just mind blowing to me. I get it. We all have to eat. I understand, but hot darn. So yeah, better than Black Christmas remake. Definitely one by 100%. But definitely go check out this film.
Yeah, Slumber Party Massacre 2021.
And we saw it. We saw it in via Canopy. If you have Plexi.
Just Plex.
Plex. You know, we were in the Canopy app before looking at all those horror films, which they do have a crazy selection.
There's a good selection in Plex.
So if you are stateside, United States, and you have a library card, that's all you need for that. So check it out. But thank you so much, and stay tuned to the horror.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.